I gather that you are kind of a big deal from what I saw in some of the
You are very
expressions in the
kind.
back. Yeah.
I think my mom and grandmother think so,
Yeah.
but otherwise, no, just a business owner, just doing what I love.
On your next flight, you never know who you might meet. Let's see what happens when two entrepreneurs connect for the first time. This is Make Your Connection from the Citi Business Advantage Platinum Select Card.
So I own a company out of Buffalo, New York called Oxford Pennant, which
Okay.
is a designer and manufacturer of like handmade wool felt pennants and banners.
How did you get into felt? That's such a niche thing.
I know. I started the business in 2013 with my best friend and business partner, Brett, and he and I were on a trip one time and came across a wool felt pennant. We just, neither of us knew where you'd get something like that made.
Yeah.
And so it just turned out that people really gravitated to this idea of like novel nostalgia, you know,
Sure,
something
going
that's
back.
brand new, but made the way that it was made before.
That's incredible.
So you're in a form of the creative arts as well.
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
design events and interiors for those who dare to be different. So weddings, corporate events, homes. We want to bring joy and vibrancy to life in special moments.
That is a business that I would be so terrible at. I would plan the world's worst weddings.
You mentioned that you were inspired to start your company when you were traveling. Where were you when you found felt for the first time?
We were at a store in Boston that had felt flags on the wall. I think one of the things that I find so liberating as a business owner and traveling is you're so detached from everything, especially when you're in a city you don't know. And if you can find a way to power down those parts of your brain that are like, go, do, make.
That are always on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you just go back to that sort of sense of exploration and adventure. You have a great opportunity to be able to just absorb it all,
Yeah.
you know, digest it and turn it into something. And so I always find you're sort of subjected to whatever the world gives you.
Sure.
And I think that that's where inspiration really comes from.
Interesting is you can't really put creativity on the calendar. Like now is your time to be creative. It is spontaneous. It's like hits you at the most random moments when you're forced to kind of abandon all your norms when you travel and sort of just be at the whim of the location. I definitely live by the motto, work hard, but play harder. And for me, I'm very inspired by travel. The beautiful colors in a small town in Colombia, the way they paint their homes is like so bold and so magical. But it's very different than the minimalism in Japan. It becomes an intrinsic part of design for me. So you built something from nothing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. How did you get your initial seed money or the money to build the business?
And I actually started the company with $2,000 on my personal credit card. I don't think I could have approached any smart investor
And
and
asked
say, like,
them.
I'd like to start a
Sure.
little felt funny flag company.
Sure.
You know, can I have
Can I have your money?
$50,000? Yeah. And so I just said to myself, like, I'm going to take the bet. You know, I think we should do it. So I put $2,000 on my personal credit card. And as the company started developing, we kept using the profits
Yeah,
to
put it
just
back in.
reinvest into the company.
Yep.
You think to yourself, well, at least we run the show.
Yeah.
At least it's us. At
You
least
have all
it's
the
our own
control, all
ideas.
the power.
Do you feel the same?
100%.
Yeah.
That's why I left corporate America.
Mhm.
It was such a struggle for me to work for a company that asked for one thing and then red line, red tape, bureaucratic meeting about a meeting about a meeting about a meeting about a meeting. I said, when do I design? And so running the show is super empowering, you know? And for me, running the show comes with a lot of expenses. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have a lot of overhead in your company, but it's powerful for me to be able to spend money that I'm spending anyways on a credit card that allows me to gain benefits for travel, which has been super extraordinary.
Yeah.
We travel a lot. We have to go, you know, when you have a destination wedding, you have to go for a site visit, and then you have to go back for the tasting and the final details, and then you have to go back for the actual production. So that's at least 3 trips per event.
Have you ever been a part of a massive wedding freak out?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's a highly emotional day with alcohol and love, and so like a lot of potential there for things to go well or for things to go bad.
When you've been out doing your thing in the world, have you ever come across somebody that's changed your life or your business in a positive way?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I make small chat all the time, especially on an airplane. You're sitting so close to someone, and everyone has a story to tell, and I'm always curious. I met a lovely woman on a flight from San Francisco to New York, and we just got to chatting. And it was probably 8 or 9 years ago that we met. And we kept in touch over social media, over email. And then last week, she emailed me that she's engaged, and now maybe I'll be doing her wedding. So it's
It's a
crazy.
beautiful
It's
story.
wild,
Yeah,
right?
that's
like
great.
all from an airplane ride.
Wow. Like you, I never have headphones on my head. I'm always talking to people. I'm always meeting strangers. I was in New York and I ended up making small talk with a guy. I was wearing a shirt with my company's name on it. He said, "What's Oxford Pennant?" I started talking to him. And as it turned out, he was peripherally associated with a massive store.
Okay.
He was working underneath the CEO at this massive retail chain. And I ended up sending him a sample kit. And ultimately, his organization placed this huge order with us.
Wow,
and that
that's
opened up all
amazing.
this other stuff that we were
Sure.
doing within the fashion industry. So it was funny for a guy like me. I ended up working in the fashion industry quite a bit.
Okay.
Even though this is basically what I wear every
You
single
look
day.
great. It's a uniform. Does the job.
Exactly a model. As a small business owner, when you're gregarious, you strike up conversations. One time out of 100, somebody goes,
I have
and
a
it just
need
turns
for
into
you.
something. Yeah.
So felt is so niche and chic. How do you find clients and customers in this market?
I think that the best way to find clients is word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And social media really does potentiate that
Sure.
positively. And it's been an incredible opportunity to connect with people and to see clients do more creative things than we could ever imagine.
Sure.
So we're at like the insanity tier where we are always like, we will not say no to an order.
Okay.
We have these like great licensing relationships with some of the world's biggest brands.
Okay.
But if you email and you want us to draw your dog,
You'll
we'll
do
do it.
So
Yes.
literally you have a client for life because people and their pets, and there's always a celebration, there's always a holiday, there's always something
Joe, you said it.
that needs a marker.
So that's exactly right. You connect with people in a way that makes them feel acknowledged and seen. And ultimately, they want to root for your company.
Yeah.
And so one of the traits that I've always noticed within successful entrepreneurs is that they're surrounded by people who want them to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind, they're generous,
Yeah.
and they have to make a great product.
Yeah.
And so I try to embody the traits of the entrepreneurs that I admire.
I love that. That's incredible.
All right, and that's a wrap on Dave and Joe.
Yay!
You never know where you'll find your next connection. Clear the runway for more opportunities with the Citi Business Advantage Platinum Select Card. Travel on.